What is going on, guys? Kenny here from 619 Guitars and Gear, and in today's video we're going to do something that I've been wanting to do pretty much since I got this guitar, and that is we're going to do a neck pickup delete on my Solar T-Series 7-string. Obviously Solar doesn't offer it that way with just the bridge pickup, so we're going to go ahead and do it ourselves. We're going to remove the stock pickguard and we are going to put on this one-off custom pickguard that I made. It's going to be awesome. I think it's going to look great. And then while we're at it, while the strings are off, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I made this fretboard look completely different than any other Solar out there. So as always, guys, all right, so we're pretty much ready to go here. We just got to get the camera a little bit closer. Then we're going to go ahead and remove the strings, get them out of the way. And then we'll go ahead and pull the pickguard off and get the neck pickup out. I already desoldered the wire, so it's just one less step that we have to do now. And then once all that's out of the way, we will get this new awesome pickguard put on. I can't wait to see what it looks like. This is just a cheap piece of Luan that I had downstairs, but you can still kind of see the nice straight pattern grain that it has. And I did the translucent red, put a couple coats of finish on there. I think it's going to look great. It's going to make this thing just look like a complete chug machine, I think. I never used a neck pickup anyway, so might as well just get rid of it. I've been really wanting to do that since I got the guitar, and I think it's going to look awesome. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then later on in the video I will show you exactly how I got the fretboard to look amazing. Honestly, not really sure why Solar decided to dye the fretboards when they have this type of grain pattern underneath. Honestly, I think it looks way better like this. To each their own though. Some people like the dark ebony color. I kind of think this looks amazing. So I will show you exactly how I did that later on in the video, but let's get this pickguard done first. All right, so we got the camera in close here. We're going to go ahead and remove the strings first. Now, I just put these on not that long ago, so I'm not taking them all the way off. I'm just going to flip them and hang them on this side. What I like to do so they don't get all tangled up is I have a piece of foam here that has some slots in it, and I'll loosen the strings and put each string in a slot. And then we'll flip the strings over and hang them off to the side. That way they don't, get all tangled up, because it's kind of a pain in the butt. And then you can like kink a string real quick trying to put it back on. So let's go ahead and loosen all these first. All right, we got the strings off. We're going to go ahead and switch out the bits here. And I'm going to remove the screws for the pickguard. All right, we got all these screws out. Let's go ahead and pull this bad boy on off. And that thing is off. Boop. All right, so I already desoldered the wires for the pickup, like I said. So we just got to get these screws out and then fish out the wire, and then we're good to go. So let's do that real quick. All right, so we got the pickup out here. Finished fishing out this wire. Already got it desoldered. If anyone wants a neck pickup, let me know. Now, I already did a test fit. Obviously, I just didn't put it on there. So, let's see what this thing looks like here. Get some of this crap off of here. Now, this thing came out really good. I mean, it's not by any means perfect, but it came out way better than the than the first one. So let's see here. Oh yeah. So all the holes do line up. I already checked that. And yeah, I think it's going to look awesome. You can kind of see in the, let's see if I can get it to focus here. Yeah, so you got some grain in there, which you can kind of see some of that streaking through the red still. So I think it's going to look awesome. So I think it's going to look, I can't wait to just get this thing on. All right, so let's throw some screws in, and then we will go and check out the fretboard so I can tell you how I did all that. All right, so we got this bad boy on. Just going to give it a quick wipe down here. Oh man, I think this thing's going to look awesome. I already love it a lot more without that neck pickup in there. And what's cool is this switch, it's going to be full humbucker, then coil split, and then it'll go back to full humbucker, and then it left just enough room. This position is pretty much going to be off, so it's like a kill switch kind of. So I really like that feature. I think that's awesome. I didn't even really think of that. It kind of just happened. It wasn't part of the plan. So now that that's on, let's turn things over to the fretboard real quick, and I will go ahead and show you how I got this awesome grain to pop out here. All right, so we got the camera all nice and close and zoomed in so you can see that amazing grain on the fretboard. I just can't stop looking at it. It looks super, super good. And you might be wondering, well, if it looks that good, why does Solar even bother dyeing it? And here's the thing. Obviously, Solar and Ola and everyone had their vision of how they want their guitars to look. And they went with, dyeing them. So your next question might be, well, is mine going to look like this? Well, here's my theory. Since they are dyeing the fretboards, they're probably not out there selecting the best piece of wood to use for every fretboard that they make. They're probably just slapping whatever, they can on there and running with it. Since they're dyeing it, they're really not paying attention to that. And my proof to that would be on my A26LN that I have hanging on the wall. I scraped that down, and that had pretty much zero grain character whatsoever. It was just kind of bland and boring, and it was almost pretty much just a waste of time. So you might get 10, 20 people that have a Solar guitar, and there might be 1 or 2 people that actually have grain patterning. So it's really hard to tell. It's going to be random. You're going to have to just use your judgment. Now, that brings me to my next point. Is it worth you doing this? And I'm going to say maybe. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. If you think you're capable of doing what I did here, then maybe go for it. It does take a little bit of experience with, if you have experience with scraping fretboards in the first place, that definitely helps. And I'm going to say I didn't use any kind of strippers or any kind of chemicals to remove the dye. I simply just scraped it with a razor blade. It really wasn't that hard. It didn't take that long. It was a fairly easy process. I usually always just go, start at a fret, end at a fret, start at a fret, end at a fret to keep it nice and even. I kept checking my radius. Some people might say, do you really need to check the radius? Well, I really didn't want to flatten it out too much. And I also wanted to keep things just uniform. I didn't want to, scallop it out and just destroy the fretboard. And another reason I go from fret to fret and start at a fret and end at a fret is just so you don't get those random slices and scratches in the middle. With the razor blade, the blade is so, perfectly precisely cut that you're going to get a perfectly flat surface by scraping it. And as long as it's a brand new blade, you should have no issues. But my disclaimer is, if you don't have experience with this, don't go doing it, please. Get someone that that has experience. I'm sure even if you ask your luthier, he's going to be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. It's just, you could be opening a can of worms if you don't know what you're doing. I would hate to see you go out and destroy your fretboard if you don't have experience with this type of thing. And like I said, you might not even get this lucky. I feel like I was super lucky in this case, but I'm sure there's a lot of other solars out there that have this grain figuring. You really just gotta check and see what you have. That's really the only thing I can say is get a flashlight, you know, really shine in there, see if you can see the grain figuring popping through the dye. The dye really wasn't that thick to get off. Obviously, it soaks into the wood, and I'm sure there's still some dye in there. You can tell in some of the crevices and stuff that there's definitely still some dye in there. But this is pretty much as light as I want it to go. I think the mixture of the light streaks with the dark streaks just looks really, really good. And I'm super happy with it, so I stopped. I did have to take a decent amount of material off, but I kept taking measurements and, like I said, checking my radius and everything. And at the end, I really don't think I took that much off, to be honest. But you will see a good buildup of like sawdust forming, and you might be thinking, you know, am I taking too much off? And that's where the experience comes in, and knowing, you know, how much you should really go, whether you should stop or keep going. You really just gotta use your judgment and see if that's the best thing you can do. But the razor blade is how exactly I did this. Like I said, use your judgment. If you think you're capable of doing it, go for it. You know, I don't want to be responsible for someone destroying their fretboard, but that's how I did it. But let's throw these strings back on so we can get this guitar back together, so we can just see how good it looks all put together with the new pickguard and everything on it. Alright guys, well as you can see it is done, and let me tell you, I'm super stoked with how it turned out. So let's talk about something. Obviously, if you follow the guitar world, you might know where my influence for this came from. If you guys follow Hoppus Guitars, I think that's how it's pronounced, they have a model, I think it might be the Sludge, but they have a model with just the bridge pickup, and it's black with the red pickguard. And I think their pickguard is kind of like integrated into the body, which is really awesome. And obviously I can't afford a Hoppus right now, maybe one day. But that was kind of my whole influence for this idea. And honestly, I think it looks a little bit better on this guitar, just the overall shape and everything. Super blown away with how it turned out. I think it looks awesome with the black and red together. And then you have the touch of the custom fretboard look too. So just overall super happy with how everything turned out. And it's probably just in my head, but I don't know if it's maybe because there's like one less pickup in the circuit or the pick guard or something. Definitely probably just me, because, you know, when you look good, you feel good type of deal. I feel like there's a sound difference, but maybe it's just me. But it also could be because there's one less pickup in the circuit or something like that. I did talk to someone who told me that could be the case, but it probably is just more in my head. But super happy with how it turned out. But I really appreciate you guys following along for this video. I had a lot of fun doing this. Hopefully we can get back to doing some more project videos pretty soon. It is getting warm out. It's so hard to do project videos in the winter for me just because of painting and everything. And the shop that I use is not heated all year around. I have to like turn the heat on. And it's kind of just a pain in the butt because like even with the fumes from the paint, it's a propane heater and you can't really run the propane heater when there's like flammable fumes in the air and stuff. So once I get that figured out, maybe we can start doing projects in the winter. But as soon as it gets, you know, above 60, 65 degrees constantly without, you know, dropping too much below that, we can kind of get back to painting. And I don't have to worry about paint, you know, taking too long to cure and stuff. So can't wait to get back to that. But as always, thanks for watching, guys. I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let me know what you think of this guitar. And yeah, as always, stay safe, be a good person. And it's getting warm out, so drink a lot of water. See you in the next video, guys.